Hello everybody, and once again welcome to the DATPROF experience. For everybody who doesn't know me, I think most of the people in the room know me, but my name is Maarten Urbach. And I am the commercial director of DATPROF. And as a commercial director, I'm responsible for all our commercial activities around the world. And I think that's probably the shortest introduction you ever heard from a commercial guy. And that's probably also everything I want to tell you about myself. Let me explain a little bit for today, because today we are at the DATPROF Experience 2022. And while I was preparing for this day, this presentation, it's always interesting to prepare such a day, because it's also a day of reflection, thinking about what we have achieved over the last couple of years. And that gave me a real proud feeling. And to share with all of you a little bit why I feel so proud, I wanted to do some time traveling. And I know maybe that's one of the major interesting features that you would like to do in test data management. But as a commercial guy, I can do it rather easily because I have PowerPoint. And with the help of PowerPoint, I can do some time traveling rather easy. And I want to go back to the year 2016, somewhere in that area. 2016, 2015, it's somewhere around that area. That within DATPROF, it was a little bit different back then. Because roughly in that neighborhood of time, we thought we had some wonderful products. We had DATPROF Privacy, we had DATPROF Subset, and we were pretty proud of it. We thought we had a really nice product. But we still were discovering if that wonderful product that we thought we had, if there was a marketplace for it. And roughly in this neighborhood, when we had this wonderful branding back then, we had a handful of customers, which was nice and interesting. But back in those days, we invested quite a lot of effort and money in DATPROF and trying to get this marketplace up and running. And roughly during this time, instead of having a small handful of customers, we started having multiple handfuls of customers. That was really nice. It was really cool that we saw that the investment in time and effort, that it really started to pay off. And not only did we invest on a commercial level, we also invested in our products, because we started off with DATPROF Subset and DATPROF Privacy with only the native support of Oracle. And we thought, we should go the extra mile. We should also add Microsoft SQL Server to it, but we also should add DB2 to it, because customers need it. That's really what we get from our customers back. So we thought we needed to also integrate these databases to our solution. So it really started to pay off. It was a really interesting time, and we were really excited. We really saw that we had really found a marketplace in our local market. And we were really enthusiastic and excited, and we thought, but this is in the end not a local problem. This should probably be a global problem. We should go international. And that's what we tried to say to each other. That's what we tried to do. And as quickly as our enthusiasm growth back then, it also collapsed. It was a challenging time because we invested, we attended several international conferences, we sponsored several conferences, we partnered with several conferences. But the excitement that we had at the beginning, we said to each other, we have a number of customers in the Netherlands, but it does not work internationally. What's going to happen? So, a little bit back to the future. I mentioned 2019, but I think it was the end of 2018. We sat down with a group of people and said, what have we learned? What kind of feedback loops should we take to make sure that we are able to go international? And what we tried then, and what we really thought of, we did some things wrong. So we invested our time and money in marketing. We thought we needed to rebrand what we had. We had a wonderful logo, but we should have new branding, new logos for a more international presence. So we said we have a new logo, we have a new website. That's important for us to go the extra mile. So we did. But that's not the only thing we did, because not only with a lot of nice logos and branding, you will not be there. We also needed marketing expert. We needed dedicated marketing attention. So we hired a marketing expert, which we are really proud of, and especially to show to every customer all around the world that we are able to solve interesting problems that you might have a challenge with. And that's the test data management challenge. But that's not the only thing, because we also knew that in support of our customers, we needed pre-sales consultants. And we also hired 2 new pre-sales consultants. Also in support of helping our customers out on a global scale, because we knew back then that we had some interest. People downloaded our software, people started using it, but it didn't really start it off. So we said to each other, okay, in 2019, this is what we're going to do. And that's what we did. But I must admit, it still went a little bit quiet. It was still a little bit silent after 2019. Although we knew back in those days in 2015 that it is a long run. We know that it's difficult sometimes to get a test data management solution in place for customers. It is a challenging moment. It's not like within a day you have a solution. It's really dedicated. You really need to dedicatedly work on your solution. So we knew it took some time. But in 2019, 2020, there was something different. All the metrics, all the things that we heard from our customers, the talks that we had with customers, it was different than before 2019. There was some difference. And then in the end, it started off with our first international customer, and then our second, and then our third, fourth, fifth. And that made me in the end really proud that I can stand here today and tell everybody that we have roughly right now nearly 100 customers that use our products globally. And that's something that I'm really proud of, and it feels privileged that I, and together with all of the team, that we had the dedication and the perseverance to go that extra mile and helping the customers out. And that's while I was preparing for this presentation, I thought this is really cool that we are able right now to say in 2022, with this DATPROF experience, that we can say we serve a lot of customers and helping them out in their test data management challenges. And it's also important that we have these days like today, because with the help of the DATPROF experience, we can show, and I wanted to show everybody in this room as well, that we really have the dedication to make it work. We really try to make it work. We really try to help our customers out. And it's for us a way to tell all of you in this room, but also everybody who isn't able to be here, to tell you that we are dedicated to make this work. And it's nice that, and I want to tell you that we are really dedicated. And then the other way around is also very important to us, because it also gives us an understanding on what the needs are for everybody in this room for the near future. Because we have a nice product for now, but the future, and especially IT, is rapidly evolving, and it helps us to understand what the demands and needs are for the near future. And that's mostly a really important day for us, that you are all right here, right now, and that we can share these insights. And with that being said, I hope that you will have an inspiring day, the rest of the day. I hope the morning was inspiring, and I hope the next couple of presentations will also be inspiring. And I would now like to give the floor over to Bert Nienhuis, our Chief Product Officer. Thank you so much. Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Maarten, for your nice introduction. It's very nice to see so many familiar faces today, and it has been a while to see you face to face again, sometimes after a couple of years and sometimes for the first time. And we are really excited about sharing our latest technologies with you and our future plans. But sometimes when you have to look forward, you also have to look backwards and reflect on the things that you do and why you do those things. One of the things that we do as DATPROF is we have a mission. And our mission is providing the right test data in the right place at the right time. And you may think to yourself, what is the right test data? And that's a really specific question, because it really depends on what you are going to use it for. Are you going to test against a performance test, or a user acceptance test, or maybe a unit test? It depends on all your different test data requirements, what test cases are to be tested. As DATPROF, we believe that at least test data should be safe to use and should cover all those different test cases. Should be recognizable and representative for your production data. And also should be fast and quick to distribute and provision. And this idea about test data resulted in our different products. We've built subsetting technology to extract specific selections of complex production databases. We've built data masking technology to mask privacy and corporate sensitive data. And we've built generation to generate extra or missing data. And we've built these tools to support teams across the world to create and generate better test data to improve their quality of the software they test and the products they test. But what about the right place? And what about the right time? Software development and testing is constantly evolving, and the time is over that we are working with the complete development and test team on the same database. We want test data that is not years old, or polluted, or too large to quickly back up and restore. We want test data that is quick, compact, and compliant at the push of a button. And that's why we have built DATPROF Runtime, a central test data platform to automate, to provision, to monitor, to execute all kinds of different test data tasks. So, can we now sit back and relax and watch the test data show? Well, fortunately, the data landscape is also changing rapidly. There are coming new cloud providers, new test automation tools, new exotic databases that require or store data. So test data management is also about integrating with other technologies. And it's not only about test data. Test data management is the complete process of getting the right test data in the hands of the developers and testers. So, you might want to think about using Docker to initialize a database container running Postgres. Use Liquibase to create a specific version of your data model into the containerized database. You might want to use DATPROF to fill that containerized database with the right data set. So it's all about combining different technologies. And I know some of you are already using Runtime to automate and to provision test data into a database. And I know others are using the Runtime API to integrate the possibilities of Runtime with Azure DevOps or Jenkins or ServiceNow or other CI/CD platforms. But what if you could do this directly within Runtime? That's why one of our biggest milestones for 2022 is called Workflow. And Workflow is an easy-to-use drag-and-drop interface directly built into Runtime, in which users can make different kind of automations and integrate with different technologies. So for example, run a Docker container, send an email, call Liquibase to install a specific version of a template. Each module can have their own input and output parameters. So for example, if you would execute a scenario that would mask a database, the output parameter of that module can have an audit report, for example. And the send email module can have that audit report used as an input parameter to send it to a security officer. Also, control structures will be a thing where you can model if something goes wrong in your test data provision and you want to execute some other tasks or to execute some other programs, maybe restore a database. The great thing about Workflow is that we already made some great progress during the last couple of months. And I'm very happy that later on this afternoon I will give you a quick demo of what we've built so far. It's not ready yet, it's early in development, but you can see what it's all about. The second milestone that we have planned for 2022 is called runtime permissions. And this was one of the most requested features of the runtime platform. Runtime already offers some basic permission model in which you have a self-service user that can run or execute a scenario within the runtime platform. And you have administrators that can do almost everything else. What we are going to do with runtime permissions is give the option to define roles, and roles can have different permissions. So you have maybe a test data engineer and a test environment manager and a security officer. And these roles and permissions can have different permissions on different environments. And this will also affect the API tokens. So you can generate API tokens with limited permissions instead of the API tokens with all the privileges they have right now. The third milestone was more of a commitment, making room on our roadmap calendar to improve privacy and subset as well. We already made some great new features Jerry told about in his demo. I will demonstrate some features later on as well. We've added new generators, row cow functionality, improved performance for MySQL, added support for generation and identity columns, and a lot more will come in that area as well. The latest milestone that we have planned for 2022 is called Analyze DB support. Analyze was a bit lagging behind. It didn't support all the databases that privacy and subset supported. And with the last release, just 1 month ago, we've released Analyze 1.3, which supports now MySQL, MariaDB, Postgres, and DB2 series. So it's fully in line with the rest of the products. So this is what I wanted to tell you right now. In the afternoon, it's already afternoon, but later on I will give a live demonstration on my laptop of some of the new features that we are working on, like workflow, and some of the features that we've released in the last couple of months. Again, thank you all for coming. It's great to see you all here.